Hello everybody, my name's Josh. I just want to talk to all the fathers out there that are or have gone through child custody battles or custody struggles, or have had the court restrict their rights to their children. And one restriction would be the amount of time that you get to see your kids. And I'm going to share my story with you about what happened to me and what I am about to attempt to do about it. And I just want to document everything as this process takes hold. So a little bit about me. I was married for 7 years. I had a son during the time I was married. I got divorced when he was about 3 years old. My ex-wife had an affair. She still denies it to this day, but I know for a fact it happened because I had actual physical proof. To make a long story short, she had an affair with her boss. They both worked at a non-profit organization, and they were both fired on the same day for unethical behavior. Now, he filed for divorce from his wife. He was married with 2 children who no longer speak to him. And my wife filed for divorce against me, and they actually ended up getting married. So, after my divorce, my ex-wife was living in the same city as me. And when she was here, I had my son 4 days a week from the time I got off of work till usually at least 8 o'clock every night, sometimes 7, but usually 8. And I had him every other weekend, so I was very involved with him. I've seen him a lot. And then one day she said her and her husband, were going to move 65 miles away. And I just wasn't having any of it. No way, I wanted to be able to have a good relationship with my son and be involved in his life and be able to raise him, and her moving him 60 miles away was going to definitely put a major hamper on that from taking place. So I went to the attorney that I had at the time, told him I wanted to take her to court to stop her from moving. I was told that the state statute said she could move up to 150 miles away, and there was nothing I could do about it. It did not pay to take her to court because I would lose. So when you're told that by an attorney, what are you supposed to do? I went to several attorneys, and they pretty much all told me the same exact thing. So she moved 60 miles away. They lived there for a few years, and then all of a sudden, 2 years ago now, or just over 2 years ago, she filed to move again. And this time, she wanted to move my son 300 miles away. Now, when he was in this other city, I would get off of work on a Friday. I would drive there. I would pick him up and bring him back here. I was able to go to his baseball games. He also plays hockey. I was able to go to his hockey games. I was able to go to school functions, school events, without actually having to take off of work. Well, now she wanted to move him 300 miles away. I took her back to court. And because, like I said, the state statute says 150 miles. And I had probably 10 or 20 people write letters to the guardian ad litem, telling them what type of father I was. As far as I know, she had one person write letters for her, trying to stick up for her, defend her decision, and blah, blah, blah. She's a good person, whatever, but she's not. Anyway, so the guardian ad litem actually gave his recommendation that my son, if they choose to move, my son should stay with me. It was a very strong recommendation that my son stay with me. My family is here. We have a close family. We have a lot of get-togethers. Where she was moving to the boonies, and there was nothing out there. Her family lives in another state, and where they were taking him, there was nothing around and nobody there. To make a long story short, they lied in court, claimed they were going to go bankrupt. They, like I said, my son plays hockey, so they said that she looked into it and the hockey was not going to affect my time with him, blah, blah, blah. She lied to the court and said that she was getting a job that paid her $35,000, which was a $10,000 raise from what she was making. Since they moved, she has not worked one day other than doing a little bit of babysitting here and there, usually in the summers. It was just lie after lie after lie, and I knew it was all bullshit, you know, but what are you going to do? Let me think here. I just got a couple notes. So where we're at now is she's withheld him several times from me, and the state statute says I have 2 years to take her back to court to modify the custody order or try and go for custody again. So my plan is I'm going to try and modify the custody order. I want 50-50 custody, or as close as possible as we can get to it. I think at this point it's going to be very difficult to actually get custody of him, even with her keeping him from me. And I can prove that she has kept him from me. And every time she does it, it costs me money because it's a 5-hour drive. And so when she refuses to bring him, I actually have to drive up there, which I have done every single time. And I got to stay in a hotel and spend hundreds of dollars on gas and food and the hotel. So where I'm at right now is I will be filing for a custody modification. And the way I'm going to do this is I am not going to hire an attorney because they're fucking useless. And if you look up some things on attorneys, their first duty is to the court, it is not to you. They do not give a shit about your rights, and they will waive them as quickly as they can once you get into court. And you're going to be under their jurisdiction, and the court is going to be able to do whatever they want with you. That's what happened to me, and I got fucked, and I wish I would have known then what I know now. So I'm going to go about this a completely different way. And I'm going to go about this in a manner that I will be able to appeal the ruling if they do not give me 50-50 placement. Like I am demanding, there's absolutely no reason. I am going to make a constitutional argument. I've been researching this for, I would say, the past year now. You know, I was in a pretty bad depression for quite a while. I was in a depression when she moved him 60 miles away, and it got much, much worse after the court sided with her. I looked it up, and as far as, if I read it right, the court only goes against the guardian ad litem's recommendation in 2% of all cases. 2%. And he went against me for no other reason that they claimed they were going to go bankrupt, even though he had just told me he had gotten a promotion. My ex-wife's husband. Anyway, so there's going to be several things that I'm going to be doing. Number one, I'm going to use the state statutes. I'm going to prove that she is or has withheld him, which is going to help strengthen my case when I ask to modify. And when if they refuse to give me the 50-50 that I'm asking for, under no pretense other than state statute allows it, I am going to make a constitutional argument. And as I'm preparing this case, I'll share with you what I am going to do. I've never done it before, and so I'm sure I'm going to make some mistakes, or I may make a huge mistake in court. I have no idea. But all I know is he's my son and I love him, and I'm going to fight to see him and have my opportunity to raise him because I am his father. So this is where I'm at right now, and I will be making another video soon once I begin actually filing paperwork or prepping to file the paperwork. So I will talk to you soon. I know there's a lot of you out there that can relate to what I am saying, and we need to fight this together and help one another. So I'm Josh, and you have a great day.